thank everybody for coming to the April 21st City Council meeting. This is time to call the roll.
Mr. King,
Here.
Mrs. Sack,
Here.
Mr. Cooney.
Here.
Mrs. Wise.
Here.
Mr. Rock,
Here.
Mr. Marshall. Here. Ms. Wiseman. Here.
Everybody who can, if you could please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
The last set of meeting minutes, are there any comments or edits? Is there a motion? A second?
Two sets.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, so this is the March. The previous one, March, I'm sorry, this is second. The original on March 31st. That's the motion that you had, this was a special meeting? Yes, it's a special council meeting Monday, March 31st, 2025.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my second for the special meeting, this is time to call roll.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sack.
Aye.
Mr. Cooney,
Same.
Mrs. Wise,
Abstain.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Marshall.
Aye.
Ms. Wiseman.
Aye. Thank you, and now for the last council meeting, is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Thomas, will you call the roll?
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sack.
Aye.
Mr. Cooney.
Aye.
Mrs. White.
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Ms. Marshall.
Aye.
Ms. Wiseman.
Okay, thank you. Are there any additions or removals from the agenda? Let's see if there are none. Are there any comments from the audience? Okay, there are now to reports and communications from the mayor.
Thank you. Next Sunday is the Sustainable Home Fair. Learn how your home can become more energy efficient, less costly to operate, and more sustainable at the University Heights Sustainable Home Fair on Sunday, April 27th, from 1 to 4 p.m. at Wiley Middle School. Local organizations and service providers will host information booths and offer how-to workshops. Learn about weatherproofing your home, energy efficient appliances and lawn equipment, recycling, composting, electric vehicles, solar power, and more. That's this Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. here at Wiley. There will be a ribbon cutting on May 1st at 11 a.m. at Walter Stinson Community Park for the city's composting pilot program, where through a grant obtained from the Solid Waste District, residents may sign up and use the Rust Belt Riders bin at the vault at no charge to them. Residents may sign up now on the city website for access beginning May 1st through October 31st, 2025. A postcard will be hitting mailboxes in about 7 to 10 days, and a list of compostable items in the program may also be found at universityheights.com. University Heights encourages residents and neighbors to participate in scooter and bicycle sharing programs. New signs will soon pop up across town to remind people of the rules and responsibilities when using these modes of transportation. By local ordinance, a person exerting control of or operating an electronic scooter shall be permitted to stand or park it on a sidewalk without charger restriction, provided that the electronic scooter does not impede the normal flow of pedestrian traffic or otherwise prevent use of the sidewalk. Please do not park or leave a shared electronic scooter or bicycle on private property. Vehicles should be parked upright in a parking location designated in the app or on the part of the sidewalk closest to the curb. Remember, keep sidewalks, paths, and ADA curb ramps clear. This spring, the Cuyahoga County Department of Public Works will install over 90 parking hubs for shared mobility devices through the county. 4 will be located in University Heights, 2 at Cedar and Taylor Roads, 1 at Cedar and Fenwick Roads, and 1 at Cedar and Warrensville Center Roads. Each hub will include bike racks for orderly parking and assignment information about the program. Most hubs throughout the county are located near transit stops, business districts, recreation centers, and other high-traffic destinations to encourage the use of shared mobility devices for last mile connectivity. Last Monday, Phil Vinchulo, Anlin Burrows, and Marcel Moret from the ISBC, or International Student Broadcasting Championship, traveled from Australia to University Heights to present WJCU FM 88.7 with the 2024 ISBC Station of the Year Award. I am so proud of the work that's been accomplished by the team at WJCU leading up to this award, including but not limited to station manager Jason Sokol and WJCU students Zachary Saduko, Emily Davala, Owen Close, Hamoud Keitaya, Jaden Bedingfield, Nicolina Samick, Elizabeth Stout, Owen Close, Emily Medina, Robbie Jerome, Sage Ossitek, Mackenzie Jackson, Madeline Otterman, Lakin Kincaid, Aaliyah Shamata, and Evan Frischwalski. I attended the event and issued a proclamation naming April 14th WJCU Station of the Year Day in the city of University Heights. University President Dr. Al Mikiak was also in hand to take part in the celebration. Speaking of Dr. Mikiak, I want to acknowledge and thank Al for his service to the university community and the University Heights community at this time, given his announcement that he intends to retire as university president at the end of the 2025-2026 school year. It has been a pleasure working with him since he became university president in summer 2021. Since the last meeting, I worked with L&E Group to get our requests for congressionally directed spending in timely to Representative Chantel Brown, Senator Bernie Moreno, and Senator John Husted. My thanks to Lee Weingart and his team at L&E Group for their service to the city of University Heights and its residents. My thanks also to all the people who wrote letters of support for the two capital projects, including residents Michael Maliskis, Dr. Alicia Sloan, Dr. Iran Shiloh, together with Future Heights Executive Director Lee Chilcoff Jr. and elected officials, State Representative Eric Sinnenberg, State Senator Ken Smith, County Council Representative Michael Hauser. I know there was some angst about how quickly this came up. The fact is, the city administration has great relationships with other levels of government and concerned citizens that make it possible to act nimbly and decisively when opportunities like this are announced, that then open and close almost immediately. It's not unlike when your favorite band announces today that they're going on tour, will be playing our city, and the tickets go on sale tomorrow and they sell out in an hour. Our applications for capital projects are in. Anyone who didn't get them in before now, unfortunately, is already too late. We are not too late. The sewer and park restroom projects University Heights has asked for will be considered in the next federal budget, thanks to our quick collective action. At the last safety committee meeting, Chief Perko disclosed issues the fire department was having with the volunteer EMT group Hatzalah Cleveland that went online in late January 2025, offering emergency medical services on a volunteer basis to the community. Today, I joined Cleveland Heights Mayor and Safety Director Khalil Sarin, Shaker Heights Mayor and Safety Director David Weiss, and South Euclid Mayor and Safety Director Georgine Wheelo in signing a letter to Dr. Rafi Israeli, the Medical Director of Hatzalah Cleveland, sharing with him directly the concerns of our four cities regarding the activities of Hatzalah Cleveland. On March 11th, the four cities, their mayors, fire chiefs, police chiefs, law directors, or their representatives held a meeting together with representatives of Jewish Federation Security, having invited Hatzalah Cleveland to join us to discuss entering into a memorandum of understanding so that we could endeavor to work together while addressing concerns of public safety in the community. Hatzalah Cleveland representatives declined to meet with us on that day and have declined to meet with us since as a group, as we have requested. To date, they have not responded to our proposed MOU. They have not offered to reschedule with our group. Solid Cleveland has been encouraging residents to call them instead of 911 in the event of an emergency medical situation. As a consequence, the University Heights Fire Department has at least 30 separate incidents where they were contacted belatedly after Hatsala Cleveland was contacted and were dispatched and were on the scene. The resulting delays typically being 5 to 20 minutes, but sometimes up to 30 minutes or more. Public safety is paramount. This is why we have taken this action in contacting the medical director in writing and CCing medical and state authorities. And we will take further actions as necessary to protect the public. I appreciate that any community group would offer to help. When seconds count, delays in medical treatment caused by delays in calling 911 are not acceptable. When you call 911, you initiate the full resources of the city's fire department and the broader emergency response system. All of our personnel are full-time professional paramedics here to serve you. This goes for all 4 cities who signed the letter. There are mutual aid agreements among all of our cities, and the cities work together. The bottom line, we all care about doing the right thing at the right time for the right care of every patient, for the health, safety, and welfare of the entire community. At this time, Hatsala Cleveland's refusal to meet with our city representatives as we have asked, its conduct and lack of cooperation and collaboration in emergency medical response is jeopardizing public safety. I urge the community, in the event of an emergency, including a medical emergency, for yourself or on behalf of someone else, the first number to call is 911. You, of course, may call Hatsala Cleveland after you've called 911. You may also ask our 911 dispatchers at CBD if they would also contact Hatsala Cleveland as well, and they will do that. However, the delays that have occurred in advanced life support intervention due to 911 not being called timely by either the individual seeking care, who may have been advised by Hatsala to call a different number than 911, or by Hatsala Cleveland itself, may cost someone their life. No one wants that, and we seek to prevent that, and we take this action now before that happens, and not after. It is a serious matter. I want to believe that Hatsala Cleveland has the best of intentions and will come to the table to meet with our cities together, as we've been asking for over 2 months now. In the meantime, in the event of an emergency, call 911. Rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruit. The sun does not shine on itself. Living for others is a rule of nature. So once said Pope Francis, the people's Pope, who died earlier this morning at age 88. In choosing the name Francis, Jorge Mario Bergoglio made a profound commitment to walk the path of St. Francis of Assisi, the saint of the poor, the peacemaker, the lover of creation, including the environment and all of God's creatures. Pope Francis's papacy reflected these values and more. Today, we lowered the flag at City Hall to half-staff in honor of his memory. May Pope Francis rest in peace. May his memory be for a blessing. May his successor build upon his legacy and be a channel of peace. Thank you. This concludes my report.
Thank you. We're now up to reports and communications from City Council. I have none. Do any other City Council members have anything? Hey, reports and communications from directors. Department of Finance.
Just a couple of quick items. We're working on closing out the quarter review. I should review this now on Wednesday. From a revenue standpoint, we're doing very well. As I told everyone a couple of weeks ago, final accounting for property taxes came through was significantly higher than what we were even expecting. So that was good news. And we are substantially ahead in income tax collections The same point, March 31st last year. So I'll give you some detail on that background. But given the fact that a lot of the major projects haven't been initiated yet, our balance continues to grow because of additional revenue coming in. We're making good progress on the audit. We're scheduled to have that completed in accordance with state deadlines. They're coming back out in the next couple of weeks to do some more field testing. But so far, I have not been advised of any kind of issues related to the audit. And lastly, I did file a final report for ARPA proceeds. Everyone remembers we got about $1.3 million from the federal government. We had until April 30th of this year, file our final report, which I did last week. It was accepted, so we don't pay anyone back. So it's a good thing. And be happy to answer anybody's questions.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. You have any questions? Okay, Department of Law.
I have no reports.
Thank you, Mr. Brennan. Members of Public Safety. I saw the fire chief.
Thanks, Vice Mayor. Good evening, Council. Just one item to report tonight. Spring hydrant based maintenance is upon us. Over the weekend, we'll start putting out some signs. Next week, we'll begin doing the flow testing for 2 zones of hydrants. After that, we will move into the maintenance of flushing. That'll go through April into May. Hopefully around mid-May, we'll be wrapping up, and then the second half of May, we'll be playing catch up for weather and maintenance issues. We will attempt to post what zone we're in, the streets associated with that zone on social media. They do change somewhat frequently depending on weather and call volume. We also have some information on our website that we'll share on social media, just to remind everybody to run water until it's cleared. And if they have any issues, contact the fire department and we'll initiate a work order.
Thank you. Mr. King.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Chief Burko, I just wanted to commend you on the response to the fire on Westwood Road last Friday, my street. It's a potentially very dangerous situation with a fire in a garage. Also affecting 2 other garages that were nearby. Our homes are very close together and could have been a very dangerous situation, but the prompt arrival of the fire department to successfully put that out. So thank you so much. I had some feedback on the officers. Fast response, professional, thorough, polite, personal, and friendly. So thank you so much for all your department does. You keep us safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Chief Burko? Okay, thank you.
I would just add on that, I guess, just a brief public safety announcement to remind everybody that even though we just got a lot of rain, we're in the peak of a weather alert that day of that fire. It was very dry, very windy. People are putting down mulch. There's a lot of decaying foliage. People are cleaning up the yards and stuff. So just a reminder to stay safe and properly discard smoking materials and not have bonfires and things like that. They're properly contained and close to structures.
Thank you. I don't see Chief Rogers here. Is there?
Yeah, if I may, Chief Robbins as well as Director Cook are both on vacation and are excused from the meeting. There are no reports. And then Director Drucker and Director Davis is here. Excuse me, I thought you stepped out. So Director Drucker is away on personal business and will not be here this evening. He is also excused. So no reports from any of those things.
The service. Anything?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Tonight, I just wanted to let everyone know we are working on finalizing our Arbor Day tree planting ceremony, which will be done on the 30th of April in the afternoon. We don't have time set yet as we're currently trying to coordinate with Canterbury Elementary. It'll be somewhere over near the East Scarborough area as we coordinate with the elementary. We'll be looking at planting a tree in that neighborhood. So that is all I have to report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Dr. Pennington? Okay. Building. Mr. Bradley?
Good evening, everyone. Just like to report some activity in regards to the projects that are continuing. Work at Qdoba is underway. We get the Dunkin' Donuts is going well. Demolitions for the John Carroll Gateway project are beginning. Permits for those have been issued. BP, Mr. Tire, and one of the homes. We're receiving permit applications for more commercial restaurants going in. Center Road. Movies is considering going in. Shopping center.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Mr. Engineer? Okay, you must-
Keeping us on our toes. Just wanted to report that Soulsby Water Main, they were working today. They should be working until completion now. I'm still waiting for their updated schedule. I'll share that once we get it. Working on the other projects and they're all in the design stages of plans. So as soon as I get those ready, I'll bring them to council to go to bed on the streets, pavement marking and the CUDA program. And then just another note, our office, we hired 2 new engineers, so I'm looking forward to them starting next month to give me some backup and do some turnaround faster for you guys.
Great, thank you. Any questions? Island Estates, housing? Thank you. Okay, we are now up to the agenda. Letter A, motion authorizing payment to Cleveland Water Department in the amount of $15,741.74 for the reimbursement of unspent funds for the Claymore Road Water Main Replacement Project. Mr. Kennedy?
Thank you. This is the process we go through each time, to finalize cost reconciliations associated with projects that are funded in advance by the Cleveland Water Department. You remember we did, I think at one of the first 2 meetings this year, have another reimbursement that we had to send to Cleveland Water. I believe that was in the amount of somewhere a little bit over $52,000. This particular project came in under budget and under the amount that was originally advanced to us, the amount of $15,741.74. Again, it's for the Claymore Road Water Main Replacement Project. And since it was over $15,000, I would ask council to give me the authority to pay the street fund to Cleveland Water.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Kennedy? I will make a motion authorizing the payment to Cleveland Water Department in the amount of $15,741.74. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Betts, any discussion? Mrs. Thomas, do you call the roll?
Mr. King.
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Cooney.
Aye.
Mrs. White.
Aye.
Mr. Rock.
Aye.
Ms. Marshall. Ms. Wiseman.
Aye.
Thank you. Now to letter B, resolution 2025-15, authorizing participation in the ODOT road self-contracts awarded in 2025 for the 2025 winter season. Mr. Pennington?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Annually, we have to pass a piece of a resolution participating in the ODOT salt bid for the providing salt for our streets. This year here, we are increasing the amount of salt that we requested due to the heavy usage at. We are asking for authorization to purchase 2,500 tons of salt from ODOT to replenish what this usage past season. That is, we use approximately 2,500 tons of salt, and by this order, we should be able to service our residents for the coming year. By agreeing to purchase 2,500 tons, we must purchase 8,500 of that, which is 2,125. $2,875. If there are any questions, I'd be happy.
Question was, on the University Heights side, you said how many tons?
For what, storage on site?
Yeah,
We will store approximately 1,000 tons, throughout the year.
I was gonna say they're gonna keep filling it. Yeah, I was confused with anything that had that capacity.
Yeah, no, we have, capacity to store approximately 250. I order and, refill the bin after most every major event.
Okay.
Any other questions? Is there a motion? So moved. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Marshall, is there any discussion? Okay, this is time to please call the roll.
Mr. King.
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Cooney.
Aye.
Mrs. Wise.
Aye.
Mr. Rock.
Aye.
Ms. Marshall. Aye. Ms. Wiseman.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. I guess, Mr. Pennington, you're on again for ordinance 2025-17, authorizing the mayor to accept the quote received from Municipal Equipment Incorporated for a purchase of a new garbage truck and enter into a tax exempt municipal financing lease to own agreement with One Magnolia LLC and declaring an emergency.
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor. For our budget process this year, we were looking to replace one of our outdated rear loader garbage trucks with a new truck to bring our fleet more into line with the current model years, as opposed to the trucks that are nearing the end of their life. We did receive 2 quotes with Municipal Equipment Incorporated, providing a quote for a rear packer truck, $370,029. Truck meets the city specifications, and the lease owned price is going to be approximately $61,956.10 per year for the 6-year lease. And the city will own the truck at the end of the lease. I would recommend that we proceed with the agreement to purchase the truck and finance via Magnolia Bank in order to get the truck in production.
Thank you. I just have one question. About how long does one truck? What's its life cycle?
It depends upon mileage and usage. We are dealing with trucks right now. Our older trucks are in the 2012 range. So we are.
10 to 15 years?
Yeah, you're looking at that range now. So we are looking to get something a little bit newer. Our newest one we have right now is
Mr. King?
Just had a question about leasing, lease to own versus purchasing. Is that always contemplated in the budget this year to lease rather than purchase?
The budget did have an amount in there for a lease payment.
Okay.
We would have amended the budget had council, or should the council choose to go with straight out purchase. But it is factored in the budget as a lease payment.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just running the numbers on what we would pay over 6 years, and it just ends up with document fee $62,000 extra. So just something to consider.
Thank you, Mr. King. Any other comments? Chair Slater?
Yeah, it's a good point. That's the real way that's revenue, you know. Although that's a chunk out of this year's budget. Just over 300,000.
I'm just looking, is there a penalty for paying it off early?
well, if we don't finance through Magnolia Bank, we purchase direct from them. I do not know what the terms were on the loans for paying off early.
Do we have to do this tonight?
We,
I'm not trying to delay the purchase of the truck. I think that's a good question that the vice mayor asked. If we can pay it off early, it gives us a chance to look at how we can reduce some of that additional 60,000 we pay. Especially if we pay it off without penalty.
we do not have to pass this tonight.
But you'd recommend we definitely do it by the next meeting?
The sooner we pass this, the sooner we get the truck, in the manufacturing process. It's gonna take quite some time for this to get the truck. And,
What's the turnaround, usually about 6 months?
6 months.
Vice Mayor, I don't know, maybe the rest of council would agree. That's a good question, you might get the answer, and maybe next week, then you have something that's for the email one.
Yeah, I mean, if we could say, right now, since we do have funds available, we could say, let's do that. That might be the most prudent thing to do right now. Or the other thing. Excuse me.
Or raise the down payment. So,
It adds about 17.5% included in the document over the course of that 6 years.
It would be fine to table this until the next meeting if we can find that out.
If you'd like to put on first reading, I
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah, because it is on first reading right now. It's not working.
So, ultimately, I will find out whether there's prepayment penalty through Magnolia Bank. If we choose to buy it outright, we would not even need to finance it. First, directly.
Right, yeah, we would just have to amend the budget. To be able to do that, which will be another thing, so we could at least order it 2 weeks from now and then make that. decision afterward. So this is on first reading, are there any questions? Are there any comments about what we just discussed? Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Pennington. Okay, letter D ordinance 2025-18, authorizing the transfer of funds from the general fund account to street improvement fund and the advancement of funds from the street improvement fund to the general fund and declaring an emergency. Mr. Kennedy?
Thank you. I did attach in the, briefing documents, a copy of ordinance 2023-84, which was the original advance from the general fund to the street maintenance fund. It's fund number 200. In the amount of $580,000. We have not yet accumulated anything close to that amount in the street fund to pay back the general fund. So what I'm proposing to do here is to transfer $680,000 into the street fund, leave $100,000 in there for any additional road work that will come out of the results of bidding for the 2025 street program. If more is needed, you can always put more money in there at some other point in time. But to provide the street maintenance fund with $580,000 to then advance back to the general fund, that will clean this up as available in any future audit. And the net effect is really only the $100,000 left over going from the general fund to the street fund. I think we have sufficient funds to accommodate that now. I did give you a note in the briefing memo that this will be part of the small appropriation amendment that'll be.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Are there any questions? There, a motion to suspend the rules. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mrs. Thomas, please call the roll.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks,
Aye.
Mr. Cooney,
Aye.
Mr. Wise,
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Marshall, aye, Ms. Wiseman,
aye,
And is there a motion to pass on emergency ordinance 2025-18?
So.
Is there a second?
second,
Mrs. Thomas, please call the roll.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks,
Aye.
Mr. Cooney,
Aye.
Mr. Wise,
Aye.
Mr. Rock,
Aye.
Marshall, aye, Ms. Wiseman,
aye,
Okay, thank you. Agenda letter E, ordinance 2025-13, amending section 452.99 of the traffic code relating to parking violation penalties, and this is on first read. Ms. Marshall or Mr. Bryant, to discuss this?
This was part of an ordinance that prevented to the safety committee and this portion of the ordinance was against council. This relates to increasing parking fines or parking tickets. The other part of the ordinance that was considered and split off. The safety committee related to owing repeat offenders, so that's still being considered by the safety committee. Chief Rogers did ask me to remind everyone, this is this will take a little bit to implement, so it's the first reading tonight. If you pass on second reading, then it wouldn't be effective for 30 days, but they need time to go through their ticket stock, order the tickets. The chance to implement it straight as it gets out. The court to do fine.
Mr. Bryan, I just want to acknowledge, Ms. Marshall's, work on this. It's been many, many months of committee meetings, and it's been very thoroughly discussed. Ms. Weiser?
I just think it's important to say that the rise in the parking violation fee will go from 25 to 75. And then if it's not paid more than 30 days after issuance, it goes from 100 to 150. Just so that people that may be on the line are now aware.
Thank you, Ms. Weiser. Are there any other comments? This is on first reading. Okay, agenda letter F, ordinance 2025-07, establishing section 1280.14 of the zoning code prohibiting manufacture, distribution, storage, and sale of fireworks. I was advised by the law director that this should go to planning first. And then it will come back to council. So I just need a motion to table this.
Well,
Is there something? Mrs. Thomas, will you call the roll?
Mr. King.
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks.
Aye.
Mr. Cooney.
Aye.
Ms. Wise.
Aye.
Ms. Rock.
Aye.
Ms. Marshall. Aye. Ms. Wyman.
Okay, thank you. Letter G. Ordinance 2025-16, establishing the EMS vehicle acquisition fund and declaring limits. Mr. Kennedy or Chief Burkle, I would like to discuss this.
I can start off. This relates to a request the chief has had in for the administration for some time. Basically, the revised code gives municipalities the ability to create capital project funds as necessary. So what we are proposing that we will set up a new capital project fund that will be solely designated for acquisition of new EMS equipment and related materials. That will be funded in one of two ways. We're proposing that much as we do for city income tax, where 5% is allocated directly to the capital projects improvement fund. We will take 12% of our monthly revenue we collect from the ambulance billings. That's through a company called Lightforce that does the billing process for us. And we will then directly credit this new fund with that revenue. Lightforce provides us, give or take, about $400,000 each year. So we're talking anywhere from $48,000 to $50,000. I put a cap in there for $50,000, at least to get started. So in a 12-month period, not more than $50,000 could be redirected from the general fund to this new fund, but that could be changed on consideration of council at any future point in time. But I believe this gives the chief some basis to at least begin accumulating resources for those longer term needs of the fire department related to EMS. Chief.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Director Kennedy for his work on this. As he said, we've been reviewing this for some time now. The first time I brought the concept of a program like this was to council in 2018. When I did the presentation for the purchase of the new ladder truck. We were looking at purchasing an apparatus that was $1 million that we didn't have funding necessarily for. And we were seeking out strategic ways to fund that piece of equipment. Most of our larger apparatus, like the fire engine and the ladder truck, those prices have now doubled since that purchase. So we're gonna be looking at, creative ways to try to fund these needs as they come up over the next 30 years. In that presentation in 2018, I provided a 30-year outlook that showed the replacement schedule of each apparatus we own, how many times it would be replaced over the 30-year period, what it would cost, and then how our ambulance billing revenue at that time would offset the complete purchase for all vehicles over that 30 years. As I said, things have changed and prices have gone up. Obviously, this proposal tonight in this ordinance is for a limited amount for EMS apparatus. The Director Kennedy said this is a good starting point. I want to thank Councilperson King for pointing out in the memo that was attached that I provided. The funding model there, I had a couple different formulas. Fortunately, I had an incorrect one there. The 30-year outlook of our current fleet was a total of $9.3 million. So that's about $310,000 annually to fund full fleet in 30 years. So I think this would be a great start. I think we have a starting point for it.
Thank you, Chief. After reviewing your document, I see that there are some additional vehicles there also. I think maybe we could take a more holistic view and bring it into the finance committee to really look at not just your department, but every department in terms of their cap needs, because we just had a garbage truck that's, $300,000 also. And then just be able to understand a little more, why you are requesting those additional vehicles to be added to the schedule. So I will, if you would be okay, I'd like to put it, we seem to have a lot in finance right now, so.
I'll move to refer to this committee.
Is there a second? Or let's have a second and then we'll have a discussion. I'll second. Mr. King?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just had one question before we move on. So you talk about current billing for EMS services and we talk about $400,000 a year in revenue. But you also mentioned that bringing the revenue more in line, the rates more in line with industry standards. That seems to be. I'm just curious what that means.
It would contemplate doing a comprehensive review of the rates on neighboring communities that are charging all the departments in the county, making the decision to catch up.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your work on this and Mr. Kennedy for your work. We had a discussion, is that revenue that you're talking about from insurance?
That's correct.
So do we really have some kind of influence in how much insurance will pay to change the revenue?
Not necessarily. There is a third-party provider out there. Dr. Kennedy and myself are trying to gather some more information about that company before just jumping on board with this third-party company that we would pay to seek further collections from the insurance.
From the insurance company, not from residents.
Correct.
Are we not getting the full amount from the insurance company? Are they receivable?
No, I think, so the question from Mr. King, it was about the fee that Life Force billing charges, not so much collection.
Yeah, and so does the insurance have a set amount that they will pay? Or we have some influence? Why would the insurance would?
No, I don't believe we have. Any.
So I'm not sure if I'm not understanding what having what the party is going to do increase the revenue. We get from an expense. I don't understand.
I would have to provide further information.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Kennedy, do you have any additional information?
A couple of items there. We do need to update our schedules, to make sure that we are, give council, so sides charging the maximum allowable rate. And then I believe we need to update those schedules too, because for a couple items, we are probably out of sync with current Medicare, Medicaid laws. And I provided some of that information in the past to get those sections of the code upgraded. The chief been talking about the third party administrator, that's money, additional money that would be made available. The state recently changed their guidelines. So there's a prospect that we could acquire additional monies via the state based on reporting requirements that we would have to follow to do so, and I think that's through the Medicaid part. So that's still in the process of being looked at, but I would encourage everybody to take a look at the current language in as it relates to billings that are in the codified ordinances and update those as necessary.
Supervisor?
Perhaps you can remind me, I understand the reason for the billing. What happens, since it is done by a third party right now on billings? What happens to the portion that some people have to pay out of pocket?
I mean, presently, I should take a step back and say, I've also been recommending that we either rebid or renegotiate the current life force contract, because it's probably 12 years old, 10 years old. Right now, in terms of administering the follow-up on any amounts due, my position has been, even though it's not stipulated in the contract per se, is to waive any residual charges for residents of the city.
Thank you, because there are two things here. Number one, revenues from this don't cover the cost of the fire department. The tax revenues cover the cost of our fire. And the revenues from this help to defray that cost. And that's primarily, yes, the equipment is expensive, but pension, salaries increase in numbers is also a huge concern, and overtime. Because it's 24 hours of overtime, you're only 24 on and 40 days off. And those are all factors that, we also have to take into account. I call these things sinking funds, and I have no problem with sinking funds, but I think the vice mayor makes a good point. We have other large equipment funds that we went along with leases and or buying used equipment. And this is only gonna get worse, especially if FEMA goes out, because FEMA provided change that we, well, at least for the engine. When we procured that. So that is an issue about what do we do with somebody who doesn't have. How do we, double, maybe they pay their income taxes, they pay their property tax, we get the inside village on that, and we also get a portion of little percentage that was voted years ago for paramedic training, which is sort of dedicated to the fire department. But do we then end up having to charge them again if they have an emergency in their fire department response? I understand fully that people can abuse EMS runs where they don't need EMS when they call and there's a cost and we transport, there's a cost. Do we actually get reimbursed for that? If they don't go to an emergency? I mean, insurance, even if you work for a major company, the insurance plans are getting tighter. The reimbursements are getting more, and out of pocket is getting higher. Co-insurance pays are getting higher, and people don't have that additional money in some regard, and that's something we're really look at, which is why I think it's important to know finance, and look at all of these things.
Thank you, Simon. Are there any other comments? So there is a motion and a second. Oh, sorry, Chief Burko.
Or just respond, I don't think that, we're suggesting that we hard bill our residents to try to collect more from them personally. It was just to update the fee structure, that the insurance company tried to collect.
Ms. Ann?
Thank you. So up until now, have we not been able to purchase what we need to? Have you gone out?
No.
Is this something that's not broken, don't fix it?
No, each budget cycle, that we've deliberated on as a finance committee meeting, and administratively, we've discussed, the funding needed for large capital purchases, fire department, and, you know, how those are gonna be funded. And collectively, we've all made tough decisions over time and deferred them, usually just for a period of time, not altogether. So we're in a better financial position as a city. So we are getting it done. Again, this was just a model that I brought forth when we had a large purchase to look at in 2018. It's not uncommon by other communities to dedicate a fund. You know, locally, Richmond Heights has had something like this in place since 2002. But ultimately, the decision is yours. One of the same money in the same money now, it's just a matter of some strategic monitoring.
Thank you. Essentially, what I'm taking it in the second bullet point. Currently, this revenue goes into the general fund, competing with other city priorities rather than being reinvested directly into fleet and equipment saving. So as an example, you have for 2024, $400,000 in revenue essentially going to this fund because it's services that have been provided by the area, as opposed to being diverted, allocated to the general fund. So, and with this, the revenue received will go into, if we're looking at the 30-year plan, we're going to be creating this fund based on services performed by the fire department, revenue received, so that it could be essentially reallocated for equipment needs in the future. So we're sort of like building our bank going into the future, as opposed to the budget. We have to figure out where can we get the money from in the general fund to bring it into the fire. Or for more, it's more better financial.
One just point that I want to make, I think we need to look again at how we're trying to spend the fund, but that money then is not going towards salaries. So remember, if it's going to the general fund, it's going for the salaries.
But if funded the what's being proposed here, it would be a fund for equipment.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not, I disagree with you, I'm just saying that money would be not going towards salaries. Whether
I think if we go down that path, we end up in a bit of a problem. There are other departments that bill that need equipment, like the police department. Are we going to start saying, oh, we're gonna assign for this, no, we're gonna assign for that? And I think that's more a discussion that needs to happen in the finance committee. Than just in general right now tonight. But I think my point, Councilman Cooney, is be careful. Housing has fines. Building has fines. Housing has fines. Opens permits. But those kinds of things are starting to think that way. You could walk into a problem.
okay, so again, we have a motion and a second. This is time to call the roll.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mrs. Sacks?
Nay.
Mr. Cooney?
Aye.
Mr. Wise?
Aye.
Mr. Rock?
Aye.
Ms. Marshall? Aye. Ms. Wiseman?
Aye.
think that will go to finance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Burko. Um, letter. Welcome to an executive session, mayor or law director, is there any need? Okay, the rounds of council reports. Building and housing, Ms. Weiser.
Building and housing, tonight, we have referred, ordinance 2024-77 to the finance committee. What had happened in our discussions, we finally got a fleshed out job description. And now the question is for finance to look at the, proposed pay range for the position, given the job description that now has, material in it. The second is the discussion, we did a very brief discussion and tabled until the next meeting. The discussion of railing requirements for the second floor porches. This is on the agenda because of concerns by at least 3 residents. Currently, our codes require that a actual fence or railing be put up on the second floor porch where you do have a door that opens onto it as safety concerns. And there were questions about, could we change the code to take a look at how we could secure the door and not have to do the railing? No one was here that brought up the issues, so we're going to reach out to them again and we'll talk about that at the next meeting. We did have a very brief discussion about the delay in implementing the short-term rental ordinance. There appears to be some questions that the housing director had, and we've requested that she send those to the law director. And then we'll deal with that at the next meeting as well. And we have on the agenda our new business discussion of fines for not cutting grass. That's probably going to go to finance committee as well, because that goes through the finance.
Thank you, Ms. Weiser.
Well, I should say, we're looking at potentially seeing if there's some way we could do maybe a letter with this phone at the end, if you only miss one grass cut, instead of getting mailed from the county when it goes on as an assessment, and also the fine.
Okay, thank you. Community outreach, Mr. King.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The city's IT provider Starfish has been on site tonight. They've been making some tweaks to the video call for this evening. I'm going to be reviewing the tape, as it were, with them afterwards to see where we are with that. In regard to getting meetings uploaded to the city YouTube page, I talked with the mayor about having Mr. Cook upload those videos that we've been having and going forward, uploaded to the YouTube page. So we're making steps here. We're getting closer to having everything in place. Thank you.
Ms. Marshall.
I don't know if anybody else notices, but whenever any of us talk in this microphone, it's getting a lot of feedback. And they didn't do that before, so I'm just wondering if that could be a.
Right. Yeah, I would just ask that everyone point their microphones at face and not in the air.
Yeah, but no matter where you put it, as soon as you talk,
Mr. Rock's microphone is pointed in the air.
right, but yours is giving feedback and it's right in front of you. Mine gives feedback too. Like every time any of us talk, you can't hear that?
I can hear it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's coming from my microphone.
Right,
All the
but
microphone.
I noticed tonight that when any of us are talking, it's doing it. That's all I'm saying. So I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who knows.
I know that they're all.
I noticed.
Yes, maybe, Starfish will address that later.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just one question, Mr. King. Are we gonna have a meeting to discuss, fiber optics and how that's going?
Yes, yes, I've been just concentrating on it, getting this matter.
Thank you.
Vice
Yeah,
Did you get any estimated date when we'll start uploading?
Not yet, but I would hope that would be soon.
thank you. Okay, economic development,
Yes, I fixed my mic, put it down. Other than that,
finance, we have quite a few, agenda items that I will be taking a poll this week. To get a finance meeting, together. I just wanted to actually ask the mayor. The situation with the finance director, you know, I was speaking to Mr. Kennedy and, in terms of the status and is there any plan going forward?
I'll give you sure.
Recreation, sir,
Your part, Western.
safety,
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm planning on having safety committee meeting on, May 5th before the city council meeting. And
thank you, and service and utilities, Susan.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. On April 15th, Service and Utilities Committee had a joint meeting with Building and Housing Committee where we spoke in great detail about the trees ordinance, hoping to get through it, but we didn't quite finish. Our next joint meeting is scheduled for June 9th at 6 o'clock. Hopefully we will finish the trees ordinance and see if we have time to. As far as service and utilities, that meeting by itself will be, the next one is May 12th. And the agenda will be forthcoming and posted on the website. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sykes. And then committee of the whole, we do have a meeting next week regarding parades. Are there any reports of special committees?
Did we have a date for the public hearing on fireworks?
I know that Mr. Bryan is getting some documentation ready, with Ms. Thomas, and then we'll get a date on.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any unfinished or miscellaneous business? Fair motion to adjourn? Second by Mr. King, this is Thomas Lee Fellow.
Aye.
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 I.
Aye.
And thank everybody for coming.
Yeah. Yeah, because,
Feedback. Oh, yeah, we got feedback. Yep.
because we still have like 10 days, right? Yeah.
Do we have feedback now? A little bit. A little bit.
It's almost like when a speaker is up too loud. Or like a stereo machine or something. Now, you know, the control for the mics are in the case thing. But I think only the time when he comes and adjusts the mic, he brings his equipment to adjust. The company who installed that.